Welcome back. Today we'll be going over retirement budgeting part 2. We went over everything we need to include last week, so now we're going to plug it all in and come up with our actual budget. Okay, now that we've been through all of these details and you're exhausted with me mentioning other things that you're going to need to add to your retirement budget, let's walk through a real budget that I have come up with. This is my real retirement budget. To begin with, you always had a mortgage, but when you retire, you are hopefully going to have that paid off. You should have that paid off. Without a mortgage, you are still going to have property insurance and property taxes. So this is what my actual property insurance and taxes budget will be, $900. Now, I live in Texas. We have very high property tax, but no state income tax. So it evens out. So if this $900 seems like a lot to you, that would make sense, but this applies to me. I have my electric and gas based upon what I'm paying now, so that's obvious. All of my other utilities that you've seen in other videos. For insurance, I removed the life insurance. My car insurance is about the same as what I'm paying now. I'm not planning on any changes there, but as you can see, I have it bolded here. This is my big expense for health insurance. I did not have this in my previous budget because it was actually coming out of my paycheck before I included what my actual income was, so it just wasn't included here at all. But $1,500, this is what we talked about earlier. Now, my entertainment, I have included an additional $1,000 a month for travel. Now, this is one of those things where I don't think that's enough if I want to do a $100,000 cruise in 1 year. However, it is enough at $12,000 a year. It's enough for me to know that me and my wife can go take at least 4 or 5 vacations pretty much wherever we want throughout the year and have a lot of fun. If we then don't do that and only take 1 or 2 for a few years, we can start to let this accumulate and eventually do one of the larger options. Next is what I'm calling fun money. Now, this is my buffer for everything that is not included anywhere else. This is going to be maybe used for going on vacation, maybe used for souvenirs on a vacation, maybe used for birthday presents for the grandkids. This is my big buffer to handle all of those things, as well as any additional hobbies I want to do, anything that I am not doing now, but I want to enjoy in retirement. Beyond that, here's a few expenses that might seem a little weird to you, but they are important to me. So a maid service. This is one of those things where if I've saved up my entire life and I'm retired now, do I really want to clean my toilets? No. So I want to have enough money there that I can go ahead and pay someone else to do the things that I just don't want to do so that I can instead spend my time traveling and enjoying. Now, this might not necessarily always be towards a maid, but it may be me hiring someone else to do something for me. This also becomes more important if you think about when you get old enough that you can't do these things for yourself. So at least include something in your budget for a realistic amount that someone else can help you because you are no longer capable or at least no longer want to do those things. Beyond that, identity protection. You now have a very large retirement fund. What happens if somebody tries to steal your identity and they try to get into your retirement accounts? You want to have some kind of protection that will alert you that something like that is happening. So to me, that's very important. I have haircuts listed on here specifically because my wife likes to go get her hair dyed on a regular basis. As you get older, your hair is going to go gray. And unless you're okay with that, you may want to go in and get that taken care of on a regular basis. So because that's important to my family, I have it included here. Now remember before I talked about that whole eating out and how it would go up? I've taken my grocery and food bill here and increased it to account for more eating somewhere else that I'm not just making it at home. I'm not just going and buying groceries. I'm going out to nice dinners or lunches to meet with friends or family or old coworkers, things like that. So it may seem high to you, but there's a good reason for that. Remember, the idea here is I can never go over this. I need to have this big enough that there's enough buffer that I can always go under. I can always save up money and use it more in the future, but I can never go over it. Gas has gone down because I'm planning I won't be driving to work as much. Tolls has gone away. I will still have to register my vehicles, and that is actually becoming a big cost in Texas. So it warrants putting into this bills document here. Miscellaneous. This is everything else. This goes into the home repair, the car maintenance, the plumber, all of those things that do happen. These are kind of the emergency and yet expected annual expenses that came out of my research in the last 2 years for my credit card and bank statements. The last one I want to touch on here is car savings. Now, a lot of you may think, okay, well, we're going to downsize. We're only going to have one car. That's great. Makes total sense. You're not going to each need to go different places all of the time, but eventually you're going to have to replace that car. And a lot of people don't include this in their budget because they say, oh, look, I'm only living on $20,000 a year. And I had bought this really cheapo used car. Well, great. What if that car dies on you? What if it breaks down? What if your car eventually gets old enough that it's time to buy a new one? What I've budgeted for here is a brand new car every 10 years. And I budgeted $50,000 because I'm not using today's dollars. Inflation is about to hit. Costs of vehicles are going up. So I don't know how much this is going to be in the future, but $50,000 seems a safe bet because that would be a very nice, very expensive car right now. But 10, 15, 20 years from now, maybe not. Maybe that's kind of just your average car. But by budgeting $50,000 every 10 years, I know I'm covered no matter what I need to do. The final number I've come up with here is $8,732 per month, including everything I can possibly think of, and that equals almost $105,000 a year. This may surprise you, and because I did include lots of buffer for big things that maybe not everyone is wanting to do, I did go ahead and remove those, and that comes out to just under $81,000. So I have made videos before talking about the different types of FIRE and F.I.R.E specifically. This is why I look at retirement and think F.I.R.E is the only way to go. For $81,000, I am pretty sure that I can live my existing lifestyle with no vacations, nothing extravagant, nothing special. But the costs I have in here are accurate. They're real. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot in here that I can just easily throw away. So that $81,000 is a realistic number. The $105,000 is realistic if I want to increase my lifestyle in retirement in order to live a better life, live a more fulfilling retirement, which of course is what everyone wants to do. If you like this video, please click the like button down below or subscribe, as I would really appreciate it. I am trying to get monetized and I need 1,000 subscribers in order to get there. So, to summarize what we've gone over here today, we went through our budgets. We took out everything that we didn't need. We added in things we might need. We added in things we thought we might need in the future, and we added in extras for the just in case because we don't know what the future holds, but we do know that we can't apply this budget to a future unexpected expense if we haven't planned at least some buffer to compensate for it. Now that we've gone through this exercise, are the amounts higher than you thought? This video was titled Retirement Costs How Much? For good reason. I've shown you how to go about figuring out an accurate retirement budget. It probably is higher than you expected, but it's realistic. This is what you could retire on and hopefully never run out of money if you've planned appropriately. This is very different from those minimalistic lean FIRE people who think they're going to be able to live on very little indefinitely. This is trying to take into consideration buffers for all of the actuals that are going to come up in the future so that you never have a failure and you never have to go back to work. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. Are you surprised? Are there any expenses I didn't go over? Are there any I did go over that you had never considered and now you're grateful that you're going to include this and hopefully succeed because of it? That is it for today. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next time.